call the April 11th, 2025 regular business meeting of the Lee County Board of Education to order. This evening's invocation will be given by Mr. Jamie McDowell.
Let's pray. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this time that we can be together, Lord. Thank you for the school system and all the teachers and staff and the students, Lord. I just ask you to be with us as we conduct our meeting tonight. Lord, we have a lot to be thankful for, Lord, most of all for you providing your Son for us to die upon the cross for our sins, Lord. In His name I pray. Amen.
Amen. You have this evening's agenda before you, and if there are no modifications, the board can adopt on consent. Okay. And at this time, our Vice Chairperson, Mrs. Donna Ford, will review this evening's public participation protocol and guidelines.
Meetings of the Board of Education are held to conduct the affairs and the business of the school system. Although these meetings are not meetings of the public is invited to attend all meetings, and members of the public are invited to address the board at appropriate times and in accordance with the procedures established by the board or by the superintendent. Thank you.
Dr. Truitt, I believe you have this evening's welcome and recognitions.
Absolutely. Good evening. Welcome to our April Board of Education meeting. I hope everyone had an enjoyable spring break. It is almost impossible to believe that just a few weeks we will be winding down another school year. I know that each of our schools are working hard to prepare to show the world how hard they have been working. That was a little repetitive. And we're going to hear a little update about milestones here in just a few minutes. A special thanks to each of our leaders here tonight as they are leading in some of the hardest times of the school year and preparing for the next school year all at the same time. I would like to move into our celebrations and recognitions. I'd like to invite Mr. Kevin Dowling to the podium. Mr. Dowling.
Look out. All right, folks. So we say this a lot. The Lee County school system is a system of excellence, and this is evidenced by our most recent top 20 school district in the state with our CCRPI ranking and our district high school CCR ranking of 3rd in the state. We've celebrated the academic achievements of several students in previous board meetings, but today we're going to celebrate some athletic excellence that's also prevalent in our district. We're excited today to celebrate two very high-performing teams who both won their respective region championships and also earned berth into the state semifinals in their respective sports. We'll start today with our Lee County Trojan boys basketball team. They were region champions for the 3rd year in a row with a record of 26-5, and once again they had a berth in the 5A GHSA Final Four. This was the team's 4th Final Four in the past 5 years. The senior class had a 4-year record of 96-20, not too shabby. Would all basketball well, some of you are already standing, but would all basketball coaches please stand up to be acknowledged? Basketball coaches, if you haven't seen that. And we also have on hand head coach Kervin Davis. Yeah. He is here. And he's brought with him the captains of the basketball team, Matthew Hardwick, Usmani Chroma, and Cameron Sanders, to receive some recognition. So Coach Davis and captains, if you guys would come on up, congratulations on a successful season. Come on up. Yeah, I got to start there and take pictures.
I gotta be late.
Do you guys want to get in the windows of the board members? Gentlemen, do you want to get in the middle of the board members? Thank you. It's perfect.
Y'all may want to stand behind him. You're a little taller.
Perfect. right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Congratulations, thank you.
All right, next up, our football team won the region championship as well, and they made it to the state semifinals for the 4th time since 2017 with a season record of 13-1. Their senior class had a 4-year record of 42-10 and won 2 region championships, and I believe we're in the quarterfinals 3 years. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And they were ranked in the top 10 every week during the 4 years that our seniors this year were part of the football program. Would all football coaches present please stand to be acknowledged? Football coaches. And Coach Dean Fabrizio is here, and he's brought with him some leaders of the football team. His names I got is Jaden Daniels, Usmani Kroma, Riker Moy, Justin Tanksley, and Ja'Cory White. They're going to come up and receive some recognition, so come on up, Coach Fabrizio, and Matthew.
I just came from middle school practice, so y'all have to excuse my dress. Back again.
There you go.
I think I'm gonna say that here.
I was going to say if I'm sorry.
Here we go. Can I get you guys to shift just a little bit in that direction? That's perfect. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Stay put in case any parents want any pictures. Sorry, I didn't do that for basketball. I apologize.
All right. Thanks, fellas. And finally, and a little bit different avenue than athletics, but we have a tremendous honor. One of our teachers, a huge round of applause is in order for our District Teacher of the Year, who is Miss Tracy Woodcock. Miss Woodcock was here a few months ago to be honored as our District Teacher of the Year, and now she's been selected by the Georgia Department of Education as one of the top 10 finalists for Georgia's Teacher of the Year. This is a huge, huge honor. So congratulations. Woodcock's going to go up and beat up on the Metros. I got to take a picture.
Will you get in the middle of Mrs. Lane and Mrs. Ford for me? Thank you. Perfection for me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2. Thank you guys. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Got it. Thank you. So much easier.
And the first item of business, the board needs to approve the minutes for the following: March 10th, 2025, regular business meeting, and April 3rd, 2025, a called meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented? May I have a second? Are there any questions or corrections from the board? Being none, I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next, the board needs to approve the month-end February 2025 financial report. Dr. Truitt, do you have any comments regarding the report?
Madam Chair and members of the board, I make the recommendation that the financial report as submitted be accepted for the month of February 2025.
May I have a motion to approve the February 2025 financial report as presented? May I have a second? Are there any questions from the board? I have a motion and a second to approve the month-end February 2025 financial report as presented. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. This is the portion of our meeting that we set aside for members of the public to presenting any issues of concern for our consideration. There were no such requests to speak at this evening's meeting. At this time, Dr. Truitt will present our monthly reports.
Absolutely. Madam Chair, members of the board, I'd like to start out with a little bit of an update on tax season. So we are keeping an eye, and the legislative session has finished, so we're kind of looking, and Mr. Kelly will talk about the implications there. We are monitoring the action right now and what that's going to look like. As of right now, we have not received any indication as to the impact of funding we receive for federal programs, but we continue to monitor that closely. Those conversations will impact our projections for senior tax relief for our most financially impacted seniors. However, just want to make sure that everyone understands that it's still on the table and still part of our discussion going into our SY20s or FY26 conversations. Also, good news, and maybe not for you, but good news for us as a district, the readjustment for board member compensation has been approved. Just as a clarification, this has been touted out and about as a raise. It is not a raise. It is moving from a per meeting payment of $50 to a monthly salary of $175. If anyone keeps up with the number of meetings that the board attends, so if the board in the past had 4 meetings, they would have received $200. If they have 4 meetings now, they receive $175. So there's been some interesting conversation about 300 and something percent increase. That is just not accurate at all. This is really a adjustment that I asked and recommended for the board. It makes our job from our finance office much easier. It's consistent, and that way we don't have to worry about whether we have 5 meetings, 2 meetings, 3 meetings. It is rare that they have anything less than 2, just to give everyone an update there. SPOS. Our SPOS collection for the month of March totaled $434,656.93. During this past month, our March projects, maintenance has been incredibly busy. You're going to see some fencing that was added around certain spaces. These are really many times for safety. So a lot of times we want to make sure that when we have the gates open for events that students attend, but students don't attend unofficial events like under the bleachers or behind the football stadium. We also removed some fencing around a student monument at the high school. That will be replaced with landscaping and shrubbery to still make sure that students don't cut through and walk through, but a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, and that fence was disintegrating. We've also done some painting, changed routine. Big thing this time of year is changing AC filters. We've looked at fire extinguishers to make sure those are all operational, and we are up and running with mowing and mowing and mowing and trimming. So lots of mowing. All right. At this time, I would like to invite Katie Pepper, Senior Director of Elementary Leadership and Learning, to join us to present our district plan and preparations for Georgia Milestone Assessments.
Madam Superintendent, Madam Chair, and members of the board, thank you for allowing me to highlight the Georgia Milestones Assessment System. Today I would like The Georgia Milestones Assessment System evaluates how well our excellent educators have prepared our students for core subjects. It provides an opportunity for students to understand their strengths and weaknesses and prepares them for the next level of education. Georgia Milestones serves as a component of the CCRPI. Georgia Milestones is a single assessment system that consists of end of the grade or end of the course for the grades and subjects listed above. As you can see on the timeline, assessment training for school test coordinators started at the beginning of the school year and has continued throughout the year. Rooms will be ready, teachers and proctors will be properly trained, and students will be ready to show what they have learned. In May, testing will be in full swing in 6 of our campuses, and we appreciate the collaboration between the schools and all departments to ensure a smooth testing season. From flexibility with mowing and lunches to having technology staff members on site, and students and schools are able to troubleshoot those issues. We appreciate this teamwork. In conclusion, we will receive preliminary scores, usually within 2 weeks of taking the assessments. Thank you for the opportunity to share our progress.
Here's all we have prepared. Any questions? Okay, thank you. At this time, I would like to invite Mr. Kevin Dowling, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Family and Student Services, to join us to share information surrounding our school safety investment we're going to be requesting later this evening.
Good evening. That side's not working, huh? Well, I'll go there. Oh, they're all gone. Outstanding. Well, I'll just improvise. All right.
Oh, here we go.
This is a slide.
Oh, no.
Oh, darn! I was gonna.
And we're back.
Wait.
I was on a roll. All right.
I guess I gotta do it like that.
Move up when you're ready, Jen. There you go. Okay, so a few months ago, we talked a little bit about school safety, and we talked about some of the programs that we were looking at. And the more we looked, the more we saw that Centegix was really a far superior product to anything else that was really out there on the market. There's a few people that are trying to emulate what Centegix has done, but Centegix has been pretty much the ones who started this and pretty much the ones who have kept up with it very well. So just a reminder, Centegix is the ease of use. They have a crisis alert badge. There are 2 different types of alerts that you can do. One is a quick press where you need assistance, like you have a medical issue or a room issue or a fight in the hallway or something like that. The other one, it's a longer press. That is a lockdown, and that will pretty much lock the school down. It'll lock down the school. It will send out notices that there's a campus-wide threat. Centegix is used in 85% of the schools in Georgia. That's basically unheard of when you start thinking about safety programs and such. And it also provides digital mapping for first responders. So basically, if something happens, let's say that there's a bad situation, there will actually be places in the hall that will have little what do you call it? Little lights that will show this is where this is happening. So it's we thought a very good product that was far superior to others. So we do recommend purchasing their software starting, and if we get this done in the spring, I think we can have it. I think we can have it up and running by August, I believe, for the new school year. So the next one, go ahead, Jim. The next one is School Dog. School Dog allows for monitoring of safety in buildings, kind of like we monitor for instruction. It's a very on your cell phone, or you can have it on your computer, but it's just basically a database. It's a database that allows you to kind of, if you're walking through the building and you see a door that's ajar, you can say, 300 door ajar. Very quickly you can put it in, that gets noted. If that's happening multiple times in the same week, let's say, then that's an issue. And the administrators can say, okay, this is an issue and we need to do something about this issue. You're walking around and you see a broken window on one of the doors. Maybe there's a broken window on campus. You can say that, and you can alert your maintenance department, hey, we got a broken window. So instead of just having it being found at random, you can do safety walks, you can monitor this, and you have an accurate database for putting these safety issues and safety hazards in a database where you can keep track of them and also monitor them. So again, data can be entered or retrieved on cell phones or on computers, and we actually get a 50% discount on this due to being part of the GSBA Risk Management Fund. So that's kind of big as well. They're relatively new. School Dog is, again, they are in, I can't say it's 85% of schools, but they are in a majority of schools in the state. They just started up last year. They're actually spread out to Alabama as well. And they're actually trying to add more and more items to their software, more functionality for school systems. One thing I just saw, and I haven't even mentioned this because I literally just got the email today, they've actually talked about maybe adding in a work order type of system. I know we already have our own, we may not be interested in this, but You know, so if you're seeing a problem, there would be an easy way for an administrator to put in a work order to say, hey, this is something that we need to take care of. So again, that's not anything I'm saying we need to do. I'm just saying that they're continuing to try to add functionality to this. So very cost effective for us. And again, we recommend approval of purchasing that as well. Not nearly the set. Centegix is a little bit more set up. The School Dog's not as much set up. But again, I think we can get that going for the next school year.
I think the goal here is one is prevention.
Yes.
100% prevention. School dog is prevention, looking for those issues.
Monitoring, yep.
Looking for potentially, oh my gosh, we have a group of students that continue to clog up in a certain area. Maybe we need to have more staff on this
Right.
location.
Right.
And then Centegix is that in an absolute crisis management. And again, prevention as well as being able to mitigate a problem. You may not be able to stop it completely, but being able to locate, know what you're dealing with and how you're dealing with that very quickly, as well as the ability to lock down an entire school very, very quickly is just, I think, unfortunately, that is the time that we're in.
Yep. Agreed.
Didn't I see legislation is gonna require that the schools be able to provide digital maps?
Yes.
And with the first responders, that was required.
And this will be part of what we'll be able to do, yes.
That's it.
Mr. Dowling?
Yep.
Okay, at this time, I would like to invite Mr. Gary Kelly, Executive Director of Finance and Operations, to join us to present this month's budget update.
I was hoping she lost mine too. First thing before we went in, what Kevin had just talked about, the state legislature has just finished and they approved funding that's gonna fund the things that Kevin was talking about with Centegix and stuff. So that won't be a local cost, it should be funded from the state. But this is no change. We've been through this every month since January. This is the timeline, and we're in the middle of that timeline. Right now is the most crucial portion of the timeline between April and May, which is when the budget is finalized, and we'll get to that in a minute. Go ahead, Jim. The priorities, we've been through these priorities at each meeting. They have not changed. The main thing is getting raises to retain and get more employees, and that's going to be and safety. But the next page, Jennifer, is the investments. We made an investment in all job classes. We have all job classes will get an increase of no less than 3%. Most of them are closer to 5 to 6% with step increase. We increased local supplement for all certified employees by $2,000 in this budget, and that's the main highlights of the budget. And when we go through our budget hearings, y'all will see, we will dig down into what the real cost of everything is. So the last slide is what are we at now? The Georgia legislature just finished, the state Department of Education will send us an allotment sheet. They will not do that until they get the governor's nod that they can send them out. And when we get that, we'll know the finalized numbers. Now, we have projections, but I don't feel good till we get those. We have to incorporate that into our budget. We will calculate final cost of our budgets, and then we'll present the budget to you next month. And what we'll do next month is it'll be a first preliminary presentation. Y'all want to take action, but y'all will take action on setting dates. We have to have 2 budget hearings. So we'll have those sometime after the May meeting, before the June meeting, and at the June meeting, we'll adopt the final budget after it's been presented and set on the table for a month. And that's all I have. You have any questions?
That's all we have for this evening.
Thank you. At this time, it is necessary for the board to adjourn to executive session to consider personnel matters. The board will reconvene at the conclusion of this session. May I have a motion to discuss and deliberate upon the appointment, employment, compensation, hiring, disciplinary action, or dismissal, or periodic evaluation or rating of a public officer or employee, or to interview applicants for the position of superintendent?
Yes.
May I have a second? Are there any questions from the board? We have a motion and a second to adjourn for executive session. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0, and we're currently adjourned to executive session. Motion to reopen. May I have a
I'll donate
second?
my salary for college.
Are there any questions or comments? Being none, I have a motion and a second to reopen. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously and the regular business meeting is called back to order. In the first action item of this evening, the board is asked to approve the personnel consent agenda. Dr. Stewart, would you like to make some comments?
Absolutely, Madam Chair, members of the board, I recommend that the personnel agenda is approved as presented.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the current personnel consent agenda as presented?
Make a motion, we approve the personnel consent agenda.
May I have a second? Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the board regarding the personnel consent agenda? Okay. I have a motion and a second to approve the current personnel consent agenda as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Absolutely. I would like to take just a second to make some introductions. This is coming from both tonight's personnel consent agenda as well as the special call meeting. So I would love to introduce you to our brand new Senior Director of HR and Student Services, David Sims. If you could stand for us. Mr. Sims is joining us from Ben Hill County, so we're excited. He will get started with us this summer. I also have an announcement, and some of you, I'm sure it hit the highways and the byways really quick, but Melissa Edwards will be serving as our new high school principal starting June 1st. Congratulations. I am not sure, I don't think he is here tonight, but we are very excited to celebrate Mr. Tanner Watkins joining our team as our food services director. And Ms. Edwards left a little bit of an opening, or a big opening, at Lee County Elementary School, and tonight we have the honor of naming Ms. Haley Kilcrease the new principal of Lee County Elementary School. And she passed her shock and awe test, which was today. Hey, I know you applied last week, but we'd like to interview you today. Along those same lines, we have another huge congratulations, and that is, we would like to announce Kayla Day as the new Director of Teaching and Learning in the K-5 space. Congratulations. And I don't think he's here tonight, but we are also celebrating Trey Haynes as our Director of TLC. So congratulations.
In the second business item, the board is asked to approve the consent agenda. Dr. Stewart, do you have any comments regarding the consent agenda?
Absolutely, Madam Chair and members of the board, you have been presented with a consent agenda containing fundraisers, out-of-state or overnight trips, website flyers, a new course request for Lee County High School 9th grade campus, which is ecology, a shout out to that team at the 9th grade. They actually made this recommendation to teach this course in exchange for environmental science for a 9th grade course for those students who need 2 years to kind of get ready for biology. So that was a teacher recommendation there. We also have contract issuance for some certified employees. Non-certified employment recommendation list for FY26 is there. And we're also asking to approve a longstanding tradition of allocating funds to the Lee County Library. It's an increase from $81,000 to $83,370. We actually fund one of their main librarians, so this is the full funding for that librarian. So Madam Chair and members of the board, I recommend that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Make a motion.
May I have a second? Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the board regarding the consent agenda?
There's a lot of pride in our county, related to the teachers and our children. And each meeting, we tried to make sure that we recognize groups because they work so hard and they do so much, and it makes Lee County shine in our community and in this area of Georgia. And one that I just didn't want you to miss was Twin Oaks Elementary School is sending their archery team to the national competition. And I know how hard that is. I know that a lot of times these children that are in the elementary grades, you put a bow and an arrow in their hand, it is the first time they have held a bow and arrow, and they hit the bullseye, you know, which you're just thinking, you know, I mean, it is just so amazing that that talent was somewhere in there and that now it's out, and to go to a national level is huge. And we continually recognize students that do things, you know, in our region, in our state, and on the national level. And this is just another opportunity, and I'm extremely proud of Twin Oaks and the coaches, you know, for helping these kids attain that.
Anything further? Okay. I have a motion and a second to approve the current consent agenda as presented. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. In the third item of business, you've been given a copy of policy GBRH, which covers professional personnel leave and absences. And this is our first reading, and no action will have to be taken by the board at this meeting. Dr. Truitt, would you like to elaborate?
Madam Chair, members of the board, you have the first presentation of policy GBRH, professional personal leaves and absences. Madam Chair, the changes, this is the 30 days of feedback review. The updates indicated are to ensure alignment and consistency with Georgia State Code. In addition, there's a removal of language in which the employee would have to return the minor fee they received when they serve their civic duty and participate in jury duty. The logistics for the district in trying to recoup the fee has become so difficult, and the human capital that we are expending, it actually doesn't justify the amount collected. In other words, it costs us more to try and get the $25 back than it does to just let everyone, you know, have a good lunch while you're on jury duty. Or after. So I recommend that we accept the changes as listed and put it out for 30 days.
Thank you. And we'll revisit that next month. In the fourth business item, the board is asked to approve the purchase of Centegix and School Dog to further boost safety measures across the entire school system. Dr. Truitt, do you have any further comments?
Madam Chair, members of the board, I recommend that we make the commitment to purchase both Centegix and the School Dog. The total cost for Centegix is $426,600,000. This cost may be broken down into payments over 5 years of service. And the payment details are in your packet, with additional annual payments of $73,800 in 26, 27, 28, and 29. School Dog is $13,315.50, and that would be for FY26. And as Mr. Geary indicated today, additional funds received from the state for school safety would cover this purchase.
May I have a motion to approve the purchase of Centegix software and the School Dog application as presented? Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Are there any further questions or comments from the board? I have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of the Centegix software and the School Dog application as presented. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. In the fifth business item, the board is asked to adopt the 5-year local facilities plan resolution. Dr. Truitt, would you please highlight this plan?
Madam Chair and members of the board, I recommend that we adopt the 5-year local facilities plan resolution. The week before spring break, we conducted our 5-year facilities review with the State Department of Education. The team reviewed our plan, approved the plan as submitted, and gave us glowing remarks focused on the Board of Education's commitment to continuous updates and investments in safety. Our plan is for 5 years, however, it can be updated each spring as our needs change. The plan was included in your packet and includes overall maintenance and upgrades as current equipment fails to be efficient or functional. Additions of classrooms at our high school campus, additional space for our pre-K center, and possible outdoor covered practice space for our band, athletic, and physical education classes. I recommend that we approve the facilities plan as presented this evening.
Okay. May I have a motion to adopt the 5-year local facilities plan resolution as presented?
Make a motion to approve.
May I have a second? Okay, thank you. Are there any further questions or comments from the board? I have a motion and a second to adopt the 5-year local facilities plan resolution as presented. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. And the final item of business, the board is asked to approve the renovation and repurposing of the tennis courts at Lee County Middle School East. Dr. Trude, would you like to do this?
So this is a little bit long time coming, and I've learned a lot in my short time in Lee County, but Dr. Clay's ability to reuse, repurpose, and don't waste anything, and certainly don't throw it away, is legendary. I threatened to decorate my office with pictures that were left over from Dr. Clay's time here at the board. They're still here if you're interested, anyone. I might auction those off, just kidding. Hunting scenes, that tells you all you need to know. So as many of you know, we have tennis courts at Middle School East that for years have been unusable. As you also may know, there's a craze that has hit our area and others that is pickleball. I want to thank Franklin for not laughing at me. Now, what he said beneath his breath and behind my back about this whole project might be, Maggie brought it up to him, and I just, what Maggie doesn't know is once I start, I'm not giving up. So we just kept talking about it, kept talking. Well, the problem is when you resurface those courts, they are going to split again. It's just that by design, there is a flaw there that's not going to work. So Franklin just kept going until he found a solution, and that solution is something that we can overlay. So what we have the opportunity to do is take something that is basically wasted space, that is wasted money, that would cost us more to tear down and take out than it would be to renovate. What we also have the opportunity to do, and what we will explore, and I won't have all the answers tonight, is to explore community use of this space as well as our tennis courts. And we've talked about that for a while. What that's going to take is actually hiring someone to supervise these spaces. But what we are presenting with you tonight is the opportunity for some renovation that includes an install floor. It's basically a click and lock floor system that covers the existing concrete there, as well as some repairing and painting. And then we are proposing that we hire additional employees that would like to make a little bit more money, potentially almost like our extended day summer employees, college students maybe that are returning to supervise the courts and to hold some community hours at both our tennis courts and at the new renovated pickleball courts. They will be available for Middle School East to use for physical education. They will be available for all schools to use for community use for tournaments, to host tournaments as fundraisers, community events. So I want to thank Franklin for his patience, perseverance, in locating a viable solution to a very non-viable problem. And he's really outdone himself, and we are excited about this opportunity. I said all this and I haven't given you the total cost. And I don't have it right here in front of me. What is it? $61,300. And that's for everything. That's including, that's 5 courts with poles and nets. That's repairs and seal coating. That's color coding. We will add some wind screens, much like we have the tennis courts. And it's an estimate of $61,300 for the total project. And I'm excited about giving kids, we talk about all the time giving kids something to do. This would absolutely, now it's gonna be, the big kids that we're gonna have, I think will wanna use those as much as the little kids, so. I make the recommendation that we approve that investment and that we repurpose that unusable area.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the renovation and repurposing of the tennis courts at Lee County Middle School East as presented? Thank you.
Second.
All right, thank you. Are there any further questions or comments from the board? I have a motion and a second to approve the renovation and repurposing of the tennis courts at Lee County Middle School East as presented. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to attend this evening's meeting. And as a reminder, the next regularly scheduled business meeting will be held on Monday, May 12th, 2025. And if there's no further business, the regular business meeting is adjourned.